What's up YouTube, this is Necropro Gaming, and today I'm going to bring you guys another Hearthstone deck profile. This is my Deathrattle Shaman deck, and don't worry, I'm not going to be turning this channel into a Hearthstone channel or anything. I thought I'd just make a few videos about it, kind of like what I did with Pokemon X and Y, the Wi-Fi battles, because I do find this game pretty fun. And yeah, so this deck is really cool. You used to see a lot of play around when Nax came out, started to fall out of favour lately. But with the new expansion coming out, hopefully we'll be able to get some interesting new cards for the deck. My list it's fairly standard, although there are a few interesting cards in there, and we'll get to them in a moment. First of all, we've got 2 Leper Gnomes, and this combo as well with the Undertakers. Obviously, if you can get turn 1 coin, Undertaker, Leper Gnome, that's really hard to deal with. But just got a good Deathrattle, helps us get some damage, and with Baron Rivendare, who we'll get to, again, can help us, we can potentially kill our opponents with him. Undertaker, this is a very important card, probably one of the strongest cards in the game at the moment. Luckily Blizzard said they don't plan on nerfing him, which is really good news for this deck. Pretty much, most of the cards in the deck have Deathrattle, so you can usually get this guy up to, I'd say 3-4 or 4-5 isn't too uncommon. Ancestral Spirit, this is one of the cards where I think Shaman is the best for Deathrattle, and that's because this lets us do a lot of good combos. I've managed to do some things like take someone's Ragnaros and Ysera in the same turn with my Sylvanas, and I've also managed to do things like get out infinite sludge belches, and you really need Baron Rivendare on the field to be able to do all these combos, but even without Rivendare there are still a few good ones you can do. The next one is Reincarnate. This is another good combo starter. Again, you can use it to instantly get a Deathrattle if you want to. But another thing with Deathrattle, though, I should say, is that Hunters are getting a new card that's better than Reincarnate called Feign Death. And there is Deathrattle Hunter as well, so if when GVG comes out, maybe Hunters will be kind of the new Deathrattle deck. But Reincarnate's still good. You can also use it on something like a Taunted Up Mana Giant, because when it comes back, it will lose its taunt, and then maybe you can push for game or something. We're on the 2 Flame Tongue Totems. This helps us deal with things that it just gives us that extra firepower basically, and we can also use it to crack out Nerubian Eggs and get a 4/4. Horned Creeper, just a 1/2 for 2, so it's a solid 2 drop. It'll give us 2 1/1s. We can use it to trade early on, and then when we get the 2 1/1s, we can just put a Flame Tongue between them, so it's suddenly they're 2 3/1s, and that's a lot more threatening. We run the 2 Loot Hoarder. A lot of people run Blood Mage Thelnos in this deck. I actually don't. I prefer the 2 Loot Hoarders. Even if I had a Thelnos, I wouldn't run him anyway. Basically, Loot Hoarder is better because it's got better stats, and that's a 2/1 instead of a 1/1. And there's only one damaging spell in the deck, and that's Lightning Storm. And if we really need the spell power, then there's a good chance we'll already have the totem, or we could just roll for the totem anyway. And Loot Hoarder, it's still giving us a card when it dies, so I think it's a better card, honestly. I've got the 2 Nerubian Eggs. This is just a good card that can protect us from things like Consecrate, Holy Nova, Flame Strike, all of those. It won't protect you, but it'll make people think twice about playing them. And yeah, again, you can do things like with the Flame Tongue Totem, or you can also use Fire Elemental to pop it as well if you really need to. Run the 1 Feral Spirits. Unfortunately, it's glitching out here, but basically, it's just a handy card that can protect us if we top deck it or something like that. It gets us 2 2/3s with Taunt, and yeah, it overloads you, but a lot of these cards are so low costed that you will be able to bring out a bunch of them each turn without having to worry too much about the overload. We run 2 Hex. This is a very important card. It helps us deal with a lot of threats that would otherwise wreck the deck, things like Ragnaroses and Tyrions and all that. They're just gone, and it's really good against decks like Handlocks and Control decks, so it's very important. Lightning Storm just helps us deal with things like Zoo and all that. Just be careful if they've got Nerubian Eggs, because he'll crack theirs obviously, and yeah, it can just help us stabilize if we're behind a bit. I've got the 2 Harvest Golem, just a solid creature really. It's pretty much just a 4/4 for 3, although there is some decent combo potential with him and Rivendare. So you can play him on turn 3, turn 4, drop a Rivendare, maybe trade with one of their things, then get two 2/1s, which is, I'd say, that's pretty decent value. Speaking of Baron Rubendaire, this guy is kind of the star of the deck. He was probably my favourite card from Nax, and pretty much it's a 1/7 for 4, so it's got a decent amount of beef, and he lets you trigger your Deathrattles twice. So pretty much with the Sylvanas, you can steal 2 things. You can get 2 4/4s off a Ruby and Egg. You can potentially get 2 Thaddeus's off a Stalag and Fugan, though I haven't managed to do that yet. But yeah, he's just a fun card, really. And like, you can pull off some really big combos with him that I've done a few times, and I've been able to swing the game. And yeah, we've also got Stalag and Fugan. Both of these, they're more in here for fun than anything else, although they're not bad cards. A 4/7 for 5 is alright, or it's pretty good actually. And then if he dies, as well as Stalag, you can also just get a 12/12, which is pretty decent. And again, with Rubendaire, you can potentially get out 2 12/12s. Also, like, if like something like a Stalag's already died, then you can just play him and then reincarnate him to get a 4/7 and a 12/12 for 7, which is a really decent deal. Now I've got Stalag here. Stalag's just a 7/4 for 5, which has the same ability as Fugan. And yeah, again, this is another solid card. It's not better than Fugan, but still, it's a big threat, and your opponents will try and deal with it. The only like bad thing that can happen to it really is that it gets hexed, because you kind of want it to die. Sludge Belcher, you run 2 of these. This is one of the better cards in Nax. It's a taunt and has Deathrattle, which gives you another taunt, and so this can like really protect you against aggressive decks. Can really shut them down. And obviously, if you've got Rubendaire, you can get 2/1/1 or 2/1/2, sorry. And you can also do things like Ancestral Spirit. Like, again, I managed to get out infinite, well, not infinite Sludge Belchers, but so many that my opponent like really couldn't do anything, so they just conceded. And yeah, it's just a really handy card. We've also got the 2 Fire Elementals. We can use this to kind of like trigger all our Deathrattles, and we can also use it to, kill one of our opponent's things, or if we really need to, just hit them in the face and maybe kill them. And it's also a solid board presence as well. The last card is Sylvanas Windrunner. I reckon Sylvanas is better than Can. You could run Can in this deck as well, but I prefer Sylvanas. Basically, if it gets silenced, it has better stats. And the thing with Can is that if it dies, it's a 4/5, but if you can use your Sylvanas correctly, then usually you can take things like Rags or Sarah's, things like that, which is pretty much better than a 4/5. And obviously it's more situational, but I still think it's better. And yeah, it's more fun and satisfying when you take their Tyrion. Oops. And yeah, so if you don't have a Sylvanas, then there are a few other substitutes you can make. Can being the next one. After that, you can use the Black Knight, Loatheb, or Bloodlust. It really kind of depends on what you want. Bloodlust could work in this deck, but I don't know if I'd take out any of these cards specifically for it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. In the next video, I'm going to be actually like playing this deck and showing you how it works, so that if you want to make it, then hopefully you can learn a thing or two. And yeah, so really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, bye guys.